Hi, my name is Lino Galvan, and I'm a super senior, an adult student, and a commuter student here at DePaul University. So my experience these past few years has been pretty interesting. My major is organizational communication. I'm 31 years old, and I'm also the second person in my family to attend DePaul after my older brother who graduated in 2006. This is my family. This picture is very old, and our family has changed a lot over the past few years. My mother in the pink there is Maria. Then there's my father, Lino Senior, and then there's my brother, Raul, the DePaul alumnus, and my sister Lydia there in the black. I'm the youngest, and personally, it's one of my favorite pictures, so I had to include it in here. My brother and sister have both have kids now of their own. Mati is my sister's there in the stripes. Then there's my brother's brood, Raul Jr. in the orange, Kali, the newborn, being held by my mom. And one of the biggest changes in our family was my father passing away in 2015. It was the first big loss in my life, and it certainly left a mark. This picture is from my high school theater days when I graduated in 2003. I graduated from Morton East High School, and I had a lot of fun during these times. I also learned to project my voice and to enunciate, which helped me to become an effective public speaker, and now I definitely don't shy away from presentations. My love affair with movies began in high school. The plays that we would read and in classes, the literature that we were assigned would make me seek out the source material, and I began collecting movies ever since. This is just a small sample of my current collection, and I still enjoy reading very much. Some of my favorite authors are Isabel Allende and Junot Diaz. Some of my favorite directors are Darren Aronofsky and Alfonso Cuaron. And as you can see from this picture, I'm a big White Sox fan. Yes, I assure you we exist. I'm here at a game with one of my best friends enjoying much warmer weather. I'm a big baseball fan in general. However, I'm not a huge sports fan. I do definitely cheer for the Bears, the Bulls, and the Hawks. Personally, I can't think of a better way to spend a summer day than with a beer and a dog at the ballpark. Another hobby I enjoy is being outdoors and taking hikes and just enjoying nature. This picture here is from a canoe trip down the Wisconsin River that I took with some friends a few years ago. We canoed 27 miles over 3 days down the Wisconsin River and camped down on the sandbars. It was an awesome experience, and it taught me a lot about just a lot of hard work and teamwork. And as you probably noticed from some of the casual mentions of beer, I do enjoy cold one from time to time. And as you can see from this case of Lagunitas, I enjoy craft beers. And I definitely learned to appreciate the finer things of alcohol, such as craft beers and wine, working in hospitality. And I also took a wine class here at DePaul that really made me appreciate different flavors and pairings for food. Speaking of food, I definitely enjoy a great home cooked meal, as you can see from here. We have some guacamole and arrachera there on a Sunday fun day. But I'm a big foodie nonetheless, obviously working in hospitality. Some of my favorite restaurants include Totonilcos for tacos, Denotos for Italian, Old Park Thai House in the South Loop, and pizza is always good. So here's Lino post high school. I worked at Verizon Wireless, and as you can probably guess, I took the work route and neglected my education. I went for a semester of college right after high school, but I didn't focus. And after I lost this job, I was basically held back into sales, and I decided it was time to go back to school because I wasn't having too many opportunities. So I enrolled at Malcolm X College and started studying towards a radiology tech certificate. Once I started down that path, I realized it wasn't for me. I decided I would go and get my bachelor's and at least finish my associates, which I did. And I figured out which major I would pursue once I transferred to a university. While I was at Malcolm X, I took a class called Comparative Mythology, and while this wasn't the textbook, it just kind of alludes to some of the classes that I took at DePaul. It was the first class that really allowed me to analyze fiction in a critical way, and stemming from my love of movies, it was something that I really enjoyed, and I ended up taking a lot of media studies classes here at DePaul once I transferred. So, when I arrived at DePaul and got this wonderful ID, I was excited about finally being at a university. My communication major explored a lot of management theories and organizational theories, which developed my interest in human resource work. That's when I took an HR management class to keep learning here at DePaul. So for my HR class, there was a service learning component, and I worked here at Erie House. It was a fine organization, however, they expected me to teach English, for which it was something I was very unqualified for. This was a negative experience, but I included it because it taught me to speak up for myself in an uncomfortable work situation. And I thought it would also be fair to include a negative experience leading up to this positive experience with the Pacific Garden Mission. I worked with them in a project consulting class I took with Professor Walona Olison. And this was a really positive experience because the organization took our recommendation, which was a workplace analysis, in which I created and wrote a job description for a position that we recommended for their organization. And again, it was a workflow analysis, so again, there was a lot of analytical skills that were involved. And during all this time in school, I was working here at Blue Plate Catering, doing bartending and supervisory work. But while I was there, I was given the opportunity to work as an intern in their HR department. I learned how to conduct proper interviews, the legalities of HR, assisted in overhauling their onboarding program, and helped plan and execute their company picnic. Doing all of this and being a student was tough, but I was able to use a lot of what I was learning in my communication classes at work. Analyzing the way communication flows in an organization allowed me to provide solutions to projects during my internship, and I feel it has prepared me for my future career. I have since moved up the ladder at Blue Plate. I do recruiting and operations work now, and my title is guest service coordinator, as you can see here from my business card. The organization has provided me with a lot of opportunities to learn and grow professionally. And the best part about working here is that we basically plan parties all the time, and we also get free lunch every day. This picture of Chicago is here because that is where I see a lot of my future opportunity right now. As I prepare to graduate, the field I plan on going into, human resources, is thriving. I feel that my DePaul education has prepared me for it. I also plan to explore what the field of HR has to offer. In regards to talent acquisition, benefits management, training, the opportunities are abound. And as I look to the future, this picture made sense. I feel optimistic and confident. And while it is a little bit tongue-in-cheek and it was taken in a goofy moment, it embodies a lot of what I see in myself, which is strength of character and a strong work ethic. And that pretty much wraps up my presentation. I thank you very much for your time.